All right. And please honor yourselves as always. You can come on and off mute during the Q&A. You can turn your videos on and off, but we will be recording. And then we'll also be, when it's time for Maurche to tell us about her author journey, we're going to go on to Facebook. Okay. So welcome to the AntHill Creative. If you have been here before, welcome back. If you're new, welcome. And this is just a company that I formed when I was trying to remember my dreams, creating a book for my goddaughter, Kaylin. And so our mission developed to add new and diverse voices to the publishing world and support creativity and well-being. We started in 2020. Our first Kickstarter was fully funded in 2021. And since 2022 and beyond, we have been living our vision, which is to create a collection of quality books, resources, and services to empower aspiring authors and connect to the heart of our reader. And doing series, so we had last month, we did the Black History Month series, and that was for the kiddos. And this is our Women's History Month. We're closing it out strong with empowering stories from women authors. And I'm excited about this particular author because I met her once, right? And we just connected at the author event. If you were on last week with Millicent, we were talking about how we were at this event of, you know, female, it was Black History Month, like authors, and we all were kind of looking at each other like, yes, like I see you, I support you, I got you. And so to be able to be in that sort of environment was very inspiring. And so without further ado, let me introduce our featured author for today is Miss Maurche Reed. And she is the author of I Am My Own Worst Enemy. And she has an upcoming book that we'll learn about. She's also Maurche the Dreamer, and she's a speaker and just all about empowering and inspiring others. If you've been on our social media, you read a little bit about her bio, but she is an amazing, amazing person. And I'm honored to share this space with her. So Miss Reed, whenever you are ready, I'm going to make us live on Facebook, and then I'll spotlight you and we'll be good to go. So everyone, okay. Welcome, put in the chat, say hello to Miss Maurche Reed.
Hello, I'm ready. Thank you.
Okay, I understand. I had pre-done this. Okay, it didn't do it. Mm-hmm. So serious. Okay, boom. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay. All right. What does it say? Unreported due to missing what? Permission or does not support this. What does that mean? I'm gonna try one more time. Okay, let's see. I've got hello in the chat. All right, and I'm going to stop sharing. All right, we are live whenever you are ready. We welcome you.
Hello, everyone. And I saw that in the chat. How are you? Camille, is that how you pronounce it? I'm sorry if I didn't pronounce it correct. Okay, all right. So thank you for having me, Mrs. Hill. It was a pleasure. Like she said, we have met at the author event, Miss Gabrielle, and she was just amazing. We connected, and I seen what she was doing, and I love her passion towards it and her mind towards it. And so I gravitate to things like that and people like that. You want to connect with individuals who have a drive and a vision and that they have a purpose for what they're doing. So it was a pleasure meeting with her, and I want to thank you guys for having me. So like she said, I am Maurche Reed, but I go by Maurche the Dreamer. I am a motivational speaker and author. My first book I published is I Am My Worst Enemy. Like she said, that was in 2020, so about 3 years ago. And that book, that was my first book, of course, and it was dear to my heart. And it took me a long time to write that book. At that time, you know, um, 3 years ago, I was working full time. I am a mother of two, and I had a lot that I was trying to commit to. So, like, on and off when I was writing that book, it was so hard. And I just kept telling myself, like, am I really going to get this done? Like, am I really going to become an author? And, God kept speaking to me, and He kept telling me, get it done, be obedient and get it done. And that's exactly what I did through the trials and tribulations, through the struggles, through the pain, through it all. I had written that book with everything in me. And in that book, I had learned a lot about myself too. And so the reason why I wrote that book is because of the title, I Am My Worst Enemy. I'm always in the way and getting in the way of where I'm trying to go. And I had to realize, like, the only thing in person that's stopping me is me. We have the choice to say no to things. We have the choice and the option to say, you know what, this doesn't fit my life, or you don't fit in my life, and so we go through these situations and we're upset with God and we're upset with individuals. But in reality, we could have made a different choice. So our life where you are today is the result of your decisions from yesterday. So if you want to see a better future, if you want to become a better version of yourself today, start planting that seed of becoming a better you, because what you do today is going to be a result of next year, tomorrow, whatever that is. And so that book helps you to be able to get closer to God, of course, and to be able to get out your way for your future. And so it what it does is Bible verses in there. There are layouts in there on how to like activities. I teach you how to write down your negative thoughts throughout the day. So you could tally mark whatever, and so you'll tally mark how many negative thoughts I had, how many positive thoughts I have, right? And so when you really analyze these things and you really take a step back and really realize, like, I've been thinking negative all day. I've been really having these negative thoughts all day. And then you're like, okay. So the next step I have you do in the book is I have you um, write down what those thoughts are. So then the next day you'll write these thoughts and you're like, whoo, like I'm kind of thinking off a little here, right? So if I can think a little differently, then maybe my decisions could be a lot better and a lot clearer. And so I help you be able to win the battle and to be successful from within. So that's my worst enemy. I am my worst enemy. That's what that was about. Now I have a new upcoming book that's coming out, which I'm excited about this one too, because these are different seasons that I had to grow and learn from, but with God and his guidance and his wisdom helped me to be able to spread ways that help me. And, I think that it will be able to help others. So this one is called The Healed Me. And listen, it took a long time to become the better version of me, to be able to know that I was once a person who battled with all these trials and tribulations, to a person who won and was able to overcome the little girl in me. So the Healed Me, I break it down as 12-day devotional. And it helps you be able to heal within 12 days, right? No, we know we're all not going to heal exactly in 12 days, but it's a kick start in these 12 days to start this process. And there's sometimes that people could really heal in these 12 days. I can't tell you how your timing will be with the healing, but I can tell you that it will break down how to heal. Because we always hear all the time, you have to heal, you have to move on from it, right? But people are like, well, how do you heal? Like, I don't know how to heal. But what I come in is I teach you and help you be able to take those steps towards healing. And it's so easy. Like, I break it down. There's forgiveness. There's forgiving yourself. There's there's fitness, there's God's relationship, your children. Like there's so many different breakdowns in this book. I'm trying to touch every single part of your mind and body and soul. I want to heal not only your heart, but I want to heal your mind. A lot of people don't know, when you're healing, you have to heal this mind, because your mind can be in a state where it's still traumatized. Your mind can be in a state where it's still hurt. So your heart, you may be going around and you don't feel this pain no more, but your brain hasn't released that pain yet. And so what you have to do is you have to look and analyze that situation, and you have to face everything that you have went through, right? And you have to face it head on, and you have to deal with these type of emotions. And a lot of us don't want to deal with pain. A lot of us want to stay distracted. A lot of us want to keep moving forward, stay busy. And that was me. I'm a busy person because I have a lot going on, but I always wanted to stay busy my whole life because I didn't want to focus on my downfalls or my pain or my trauma, And it's like, you get to the point where you're going to be running your whole life. You're going to be on a run your whole life. And so this book comes in and it helps you be able to face those fears, face that trauma, face that abuse. Because I am a domestic violence survivor, and I had went through all these things. I have battled with a lot of things. I had battled with domestic violence. I've almost been kidnapped 3 times. I've been in different emotional, verbal, abusive relationships also too. And I'm a miracle baby. I died, I came back to life, and they told me that I was going to have speech problems. So I had surgery right here. I have the scar to remind me of my gift, to remind me what God called me to do here on earth. And so they told my parents I was going to have a speech problem. They told me that this is what's going to be her problem. And I grew up, I had speech problems. People used to tease me, bully me. And I used to be like, I used to not want to go to school. And when God spoke to me, He said, I called you to speak and preach the gospel. And I was like, no way. Like, there's no way. I'm not going to get on this stage. I already been bullied. I'm trying to heal from this bulliness. And God said, no, I called you. And like sit like in a sense like Moses in the Bible. Like God called him to go and to speak to those individuals, and Moses was like, like I can't do this. And I kind of, fit in that description. I'm like, God, I was telling God I was running from it for years too, and that's when God finally caught up with me. Because God, He's an amazing guy, right? He's loving, he's caring, he's forgiving, but God don't play. Listen, when He calls you to do something, and when it's time to do it, He don't care what you got going on. It is time for you to get it done. And so I just want everyone to know, whatever your calling is or whatever you were here to do, just do it. Don't allow fear to get in your way. Don't allow your circumstances, your situations. All you got to do is to start. When I started my first book, I was financially not in the right place. I was struggling. It was not a good time. So if you're waiting for the perfect time, you'll be waiting forever. Do it in your pain. Do it in your tears. Do it in your struggle. Do it while you're tired. Whatever you are called to do, you do it regardless. Because if you're waiting for the right emotion to tap in, motivation, you're going to be waiting forever. So that's my whole thing, is I just want everyone to know that don't wait on the perfect moment. You just do it. Just do it. And whatever God calls you to do, I remember when God called me to do this, because I wrote my first book 3 years, but I've been speaking for about, on a consistent basis, for about 5 years, 5, 6 years now. So when God called me, I said, God, you have to fund my purpose. Right? So if financial is your problem, then you got to come to God and you got to stand on His word, and you're going to say, listen, if you called me to do this, then you got to bring me to it. And you have to financially provide for the vision that you installed from within. And so whatever you think that's going to hold you back, don't allow that. Because see, this is a partnership with God, right? We all try to do things on our own. We're wore out, we're tired. Sometimes we get tired of praying. But when you get to the place when you're tired, and when you get to the place where you're wore out and you don't want to do it no more, that means that you are taking God's position. You should always be in a peaceful place. And no, that's not realistic. We live in a life where it's chaos, living life where it's problems. But if you shift and you know you're shifting, just get back on track with him and allow him to lead and guide you into your direction of where you're going. Life is something different, but with God, we can get through it. So that's my that's my story behind, becoming the author. Yeah.
No, that I'm all like, yeah, so I'm on mute. No, thank you. Like, so you packed a lot of gems right
Yeah,
into
yeah.
that
I was
moment.
like, hold on.
I'm gonna back it up a little bit.
Yeah.
But like what you said, and this is interesting, this has kind of been the theme of all the authors in this series of like, hey, my first book, I just knew I had something I wanted to say, right? Same with me. I didn't plan on it. I just knew I wanted Kaylin to have a book, right?
Yeah.
And so you started, like you said, just like get it done. Like and on the author journey, like it's so many different ways you can take. You can take an ebook, you're doing devotion, you do paperback, you could do hardcover, what is a barcode, right? Like all of those things. And like you spoke to of like you can get lost, like, okay, I'm gonna just quit. Like there's so many people that I know, I've heard, or I'm sure people come up to you like, yeah, I wanted to write that story, but I didn't know where to start, so I just set it to the side, or I had too much going on, right? And so you were able to move through that. And also when you were talking about in the first book, like it seemed like it was really heavy on that self-awareness.
Mm-hmm.
And like, okay, who am I, where am I now? So even just like being able to pause in your author journey, just wherever you are in life, and really assess like, okay, what is my motivation, how am I feeling? Okay, do I feel aligned with God? Do I feel aligned with myself? Like those are things that, like you were saying, like that can shift, and when you don't feel like it, that's what keep you going.
Exactly.
So yeah, so those like really like stood out for me. And you said like moving past the fear, acknowledging how you feel, processing, but not letting that stop what you feel like your purpose and what you've been called to do.
Yes.
So that's very, very empowering and real. Like some days
Yeah.
you might want to quit,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
the funding and the motivate, it might not always be there. So
You be like,
remember number one, like, not today. I ain't doing another Zoom link.
listen, I don't even want to go ahead and write anything,
Right.
it's days like
Yeah.
that, and I think that that's why, and it took me a long time to be transparent.
Yeah.
I'm a very private person. So when
Yeah.
God called
Same.
me to be an author, it was hard.
Mhm.
I erased so many things, and God was like, put that. I'm like, I don't want to put that. You have to be vulnerable when you write in these books, and people don't understand how authors are very hard workers and the dedication that we have to put behind the scenes. And you have to deal with yourself when you're writing these books too, because you have to be transparent, you have to be vulnerable. And so that's another thing that I like to be now that I'm finally at a place where I could be transparent now. I could be honest with you, and I like to be honest with people who listen to me, so that way when they're in the midst of chaos and when they're in the midst of this struggle in the midst of trying to get to where they're trying to be, it's not easy. And I want you to know that. So we hear a lot of people who are successful and they're just telling you the cookies and creams of it, right?
Highlights. Yeah.
Yeah, the
Hmm.
highlights, and I'm successful and all this, I did this. But let's talk about behind the scenes, when when you want to give up, when you are depressed, or when you are in those seasons of mentally battling, or when you are a single mother or you are a single father. Like, let's talk about the reality of these situations and allow people to gracefully give that to their self, to be able to pursue something bigger in them, you
Yeah.
know and I think once you realize that being an author is bigger than you, then it will help out a lot. It
It
is.
does. Yeah.
It's like, hold on, I'm really about to change lives here,
Hmm.
regardless of what the book is about. You can change a life with your book,
Yeah.
so just like with your book, with my children, that put a smile on my face to let my babies read your book, and they're
Mhm.
smiling. And so I'm like, you just don't know whose heart and who
Absolutely.
souls that you're changing. So, my son loved your book.
Oh, yay.
Yes, he did. I was like, yeah. He loved it. And I was like, so I just want to thank you for that. And
Yes,
was
thank
looking forward
you.
for some more if you got some for us.
Yeah, yes, they coming, they coming.
Okay.
Oh, they got like we gonna work this one now.
Is that
Uh,
right? I kind of put the spotlight on you, huh?
so we're gonna work. Look, but seriously, like you said, once you get it started, then the creativity flows, you're moving, and ultimately, like we want to connect to the heart of our reader.
Yes.
So tell us about your upcoming book. How can we are there pre-orders? Is there a way to get on the list just to kind of know what's coming up? I'm just excited to know what's next with you.
Yes. So, with my second book, I do finally have pre-orders now because at first, when I had met you, I didn't have that yet, but we finally got it in the system. So we got pre-orders. I will drop that link. I have the link to Barnes and Noble, but I also
Okay.
have Amazon, and I believe it'd be at Walmart. And then I have my website too. So you can, and I probably will have a sale coming on. So if you order through my website, I will waive the shipping and handling that you can go through, wave through from
Mm-hmm.
Barnes and Noble and Amazon and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
I will have that. Also, if you do go onto my website, I would love for you guys to sign up for my email list because that will keep you updated with the release date, with my book release party also too. I would love for you guys to come to the book release party. I scheduled that, I think May 14th, but I have to confirm in my calendar. So I can sign, and then I'll have all kind of goodies, food, we'll have gifts, and it'll be just a fun time, to celebrate something that's going to go into the world to change others. So I have a lot of things coming up for the new book. I'm excited. See, my first book, I feel bad, it's like a child, not a child, but like what you want to say, I don't
You
know
were
what you
learning. Yeah,
I was
you were
learning.
learning.
I
Yeah,
was
and you
learning.
can always re-release. That's why they
Yeah,
have
right.
editions. They always have re-releases.
You get
Yes, yes.
re-released, yeah. I'm
Second
like,
edition. Yeah.
exactly, because I'm preparing for the book release party, and I'm like, I didn't even have that at my book release party, the
Yeah.
first one, and
Yeah.
it was during COVID too, so I had to have it at this park and stuff. So it was just a lot going on. The beginning of COVID.
Mm-hmm.
So it was just a lot going on, and so I always feel bad when I look at I am my worst enemy because I'm like, oh baby, I'm sorry I didn't
You can,
get to
you
do
can
the
love
things
it
that
back. We do this.
I
We'll look out for the second edition.
exactly. So the
And what
heal
is your
me,
website?
it
I'm sorry.
is we put in the chat.
Yes.
Okay.
Because we always support and encourage direct sales here as much as you can directly from the author. If you
Well,
meet an author,
I appreciate it.
it's just as a
I
FYI to everybody
appreciate it.
out there. Direct
Exactly.
sales.
Right.
Okay.
I think, hold on,
So
let me
Maurche,
just put the link on there
so
because
MaurcheTheDreamer.com. And that's where we
yes.
can go to find out all the things that you're doing. The book release, we could pre-order there as well. I have pre-ordered my copy. Yeah, and then if there's any final thoughts or things that come to mind, also if you're in the space, for those of you on Zoom, you can also ask questions.
Yes, I would love to
We've got
answer
about
questions.
like
So
a minute or two if there's anything that resonated with you, um, feel free to let us know. It stopped. I think that's the Zoom link for this.
that's the Zoom link. Sorry, I thought that was sorry. You said that's a Zoom link. Here it
Very
is.
familiar to
I'm
me.
sorry.
That's all right. And so we
At
see
least you
great
caught it. It would have
testimony.
been like, that
Yes,
ain't it.
this is where we at. I see great testimony in the chat. Any other thought or anything that comes up for you, know that that's welcome in this space.
So I don't have a question, but I did just want to say, I just wanted to congratulate you and just encourage you because I really believe that we need more transparency in the body of Christ. And so I just wanted to say thank you for that. And we need more of that.
Well, you're welcome. Thank you. Oh, so sweet. Thank you.
Yes.
Yes, we do. We definitely need more of that. 'Cause
Yeah.
be
No,
more
it's
transparent.
just amazing all that you've accomplished. I know your kids and your family, your husband, like everybody I know, they're so proud of you. And that from another doer, like all over the place, right? It'd be like, okay, sit down somewhere
Right,
and
right.
breathe and reflect, right? And so just grateful to you for sharing your story. I know it's only a little snippet, right? But just the things you've dropped into the space, know that we honor that, and we're excited to support you on this next book. We have some coming up and coming authors in this space, so I'm sure the things that you said were inspiring, also to me as well. So this was our author series. You closed us out. I'm not doing another one next month now. I'm tired.
Then I'm tired.
We'll bring it back at one of these times. But I thank you all for hopping on each week. And I thank you, Maurche, for your time and for sharing your story. And I'll share all this information out in the next couple days with the email with all your contact information. But definitely grateful
for
to
having
you.
me. I really appreciate it. You're
Yes.
a pleasure and a blessing. So
well, same to you.
Wish you the best
so
on
much.
your journey also too.
Yes, we will be seeing each other again.
That's right.
All right. Take care.
All right.
Everyone.
Bye, guys. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Have a good night.
You too.